I added Audi to F1 Manager 2022 and completed the full season. This is what happened. This was by far the best season ending I've ever seen in the game, but we'll get to that in a bit. I will be going over the standings and tell you how much points, podiums and wins each driver got and all of the driver transfers. Audi is replacing Alfa Romeo in this series and I will keep Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu for the season. My season goal is to finish in 5th place in the constructor standings and my long-term objective is to score 6 podiums in a single season. I also set the goal for myself and that is that I have to win a driver's championship with a German driver before 2027. I have to do it with a German driver since Audi is German and I would like to make Mick Schumacher a world champion. The race in the background is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and going into it, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc were separated by a single point. So while I'm going over the driver standings, you can watch the race and every now and then I will tell you what is going on in the race. Charles Leclerc took pole but he got a 5th place penalty, but luckily for him a few other drivers also got a 5th place penalty. So we won't be starting from P6, but let's go to the standings. There was 2 drivers that didn't score any points. In P20 we have Lance Stroll. He decided to leave Aston Martin and made a return to Williams for next season. And the other driver without any points is Nicholas Latifi. He lost his seat at Williams but he got another seat at Haas for next season. Moving on to P18 we have Alex Albon. The 26-year-old driver scored a single point and is also leaving Williams to make a return to AlphaTauri in the hopes of someday getting another chance to race for Red Bull. Sebastian Vettel also scored a single point. He finished in P17 and will race alongside Alex Albon at AlphaTauri next season. In P16 we have Mick Schumacher. He scored 3 points in the Haas but decided to join Aston Martin for next season. Going to the race, as you can see on lap 4 Charles Leclerc is getting past Max Verstappen, but Verstappen is on softs and if he can stay in Leclerc's DRS he will have a good opportunity for an undercut, and that's exactly what happened. Like you can see on lap 23, after both the drivers went into the pits, Verstappen is once again in the lead but Leclerc would be chasing him down on newer tyres. But let's go back to the standings. In P15 we have Yuki Tsunoda. He scored 7 points in the AlphaTauri but he is leaving the team to join Aston Martin for next season. Moving on to P14 we have Daniel Ricciardo. The Australian driver scored 8 points and will be staying at McLaren for next season. Kevin Magnussen is the next driver on this list. He finished in P13 scoring 19 points and will be staying at Haas. In P12 we have Lando Norris. He scored 21 points in McLaren and will be staying at the team. Going back to the race, as you can see Leclerc finally got the move done and will be the world champion if he keeps the lead. In P11 we have Pierre Gasly. The French driver scored 41 points and will be joining the French team Alpine for next season. Now going to the top 10. In 10th place we have the other French driver Esteban Ocon. He scored 44 points and will be staying at Alpine, making Alpine a all-French team. Guan Yu Zhou is the next driver on this list. He finished in P9 scoring 48 points in the Audi but he got dropped by the team so he will be going to Williams for next season. In P8 we have Fernando Alonso. He scored 104 points in the Alpine but he got a contract offer from Audi and he decided to join the team for 2023. On lap 39 Verstappen decided to pit since he got nothing to lose, and on the new mediums it only took him 6 laps to make his way back up to P2. He was 14 seconds behind Leclerc and that meant if there was a safety car Leclerc wouldn't be able to pit and come out ahead. In P7 we have George Russell. He scored 120 points and a podium in the Mercedes and will be staying at the team for next season. His teammate Lewis Hamilton finished in P6 scoring 225 points, 4 podiums and a victory and will be staying at Mercedes. In P5 we have Valtteri Bottas. He had an incredible season at Audi scoring 243 points, 6 podiums and 3 wins. He will be racing alongside Fernando Alonso next season. Returning to the race, on lap 54 Russell had a crash and that caused a safety car, but there was some lapped cars between Verstappen and Leclerc. On lap 55 the cars got permission to unlap themselves and a lap later we had the message safety car in this lap. This meant Verstappen would have 2 laps to get past Leclerc on his newer, faster tyres. But going back to the standings, we have Sergio Perez in P4. He scored 269 points and 8 podiums and will be staying at Red Bull for next season. P3 we have Carlos Sainz. He was also a big part of the championship fight, only 10 points behind the championship leader going into Abu Dhabi. Sainz scored 352 points, 15 podiums and 5 wins and will be staying at Ferrari for next season. Before I go to the top 2, I am going to go over the constructors standings. In P10 we have Aston Martin with a single point. Williams finished in P9 scoring a point as well. We had Haas with 22 points in P8. McLaren finished in P7 scoring 29 points. In P6 we have AlphaTauri with 48 points, 100 points ahead of them. In P5 we have Alpine with 148 points. Audi finished in P4 with 291 points. In third place we have Mercedes with 345 points. In second place we have Red Bull with 642 points. And the 2022 Constructors Champions is Ferrari with 716 points. But as you can see, Verstappen just got past Leclerc, getting Red Bull the Drivers' Championship. So in P2 we have Charles Leclerc with 364 points, 15 podiums and 7 wins. And the 2022 Drivers' World Champion is Max Verstappen with 373 points, 17 podiums and 6 wins. Let me know if you want to see more videos with the racing in between, and thanks for liking and subscribing. I will see you again in the next video.